Well, everybody's here. This is going to be very helpful. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As I say every week when I make my presentations, I'm still Dr. Arnold Nerenberg. Still that guy. Been licensed to practice clinical psychology in the state of California since 1974, so I've been doing this a long time. Learned a few things, took me a while. And I like to say that I've been licensed to walk upon this earth since 1941, which was the year I received my birth certificate. So I was officially here then. I'll be 83 years old very soon. It's truly a great pleasure and a privilege for me to be here with you. A privilege to address you, to share with you the insights and lessons and inspirations of a lifetime. My intention truly is to uplift you for the rest of your life, and in the hope that you'll pass this knowledge on to your loved ones so that they will be able to benefit from this knowledge. I'm going to tell you things that nobody's ever told you. I'm going to tell you things that nobody's ever told me and I never read. Most of that's true. Most of what I'm going to tell you, and it's going to be extremely helpful to you. So if you want to take notes on it, that's good. This will be very impactful. The title of today's presentation is How to Be Yourself. How to Be Yourself. We have a dual nature. We have the lower self, the animal self. And then we have the higher self, called the divine self, the honorable self. The two parts to you, to me, to all of us. It's always been that way. Now, our lower nature, the animal nature, wants to avoid pain and wants to survive at all costs. It doesn't matter who gets hurt. We want to take care of ourselves. And by lower nature, we want to destroy anything that stands in our way or threatens us in any way. We want to take what we want for ourselves, just take it, maybe justify we deserve it. The lower nature will manifest what's typically called extreme selfishness, self-centeredness, because that part of us, which is totally governed by genetics, family upbringing, and societal norms, survival not only physically but emotionally. We feel under attack emotionally. Somebody said something, that we want to just lash out. And if we're just governed by the lower nature, we lash out, we get nasty, we get really nasty or even violent. So when I say how to be yourself, what I'm here to tell you is that your true self is your higher nature. You are born, you were created to manifest the nobility that is you. You are noble, amazing, noble human beings. You are a noble being. That is your true identity. You are a noble human being, and we're going to talk about how to manifest that nobility, because that's how to be yourself. So if somebody upsets you and you start getting really nasty thoughts and you curse that person out, you say, I'm being real, bro. I can't stand you. Think you're ugly. Just get the heck out of my house now. It's a clue that's not you. Not you as a noble being that you are. That comes from your lower self. And to the extent you're manifesting that, you're not going to like what happens. You're not going to like it. When you manifest your nobility and your greatness, that can be achieved through the way of honor. We're going to talk about the honor teachings. We're going to talk about how to bring this about, where you're responding, you're taking the high road, And let me just add, we're not talking about letting people walk over you. Oh, no, 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 no. We draw a boundary. Oh, no. Somebody disrespects us. We go, oh, no, I'm talking to you respectfully. I expect you to talk to me respectfully. That doesn't take care of it. Hey, I just said, I'm talking to you respectfully. I appreciate if you talk to me respectfully. But I like to get along. Wherever you have to take this, we're not marshmallows, because if we let somebody disrespect us and they're manifesting their lower nature, we're enabling them to dishonor themselves. And it's going to be a big disturbance to us, and it's going to damage the relationship. We don't let that happen. On the other hand, we want to manifest that nobility in ourselves, that love. Now, if you look at intimate relationships, that's really a big issue for people. Boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wife. I mean, really, really, a lot of the issues come out around there. I'm going to show you a way to deal with it. And this method I'm going to teach you is not for the weak. You have to be really, really strong to do this, but it's doable. I can tell you that right now. What I'm going to show you is doable, but most people won't do it. I'm not saying they can't do it, but they won't do it. But some of you will. So let's say your significant other says something and you feel really humiliated by it. They say something to you that you feel really put down, and maybe it was even in front of somebody, so you're feeling really humiliated. You're feeling hurt and humiliated. It happens. It happens with people that love each other deeply, because that significant other at that moment is coming from their lower nature. No matter how wonderful that she or he is as a human being, at times they're going to slip into that lower nature, and you're going to feel hurt and possibly humiliated. And your first reaction is going to be to lash back out. Say, "Well, you no good, you dummy, you whatever." You're going to make all kinds of faces, and then that person's going to make all kinds of faces, and the voice is going to go up, and you're not going to like what happens. Not going to like it. I'm going to show you a way to deal with that for the strong, not for the weak. This you got to be very strong to do what I'm going to tell you about. You're feeling hurt, and then maybe you don't lash out. You say something trying to be reconciled. You try to reconcile. It's not happening. The person keeps hitting you psychologically. You say, well, and you go apart. And what the person said is ruminating. You're thinking about it. You're going to bed with it. Maybe you wake up in the middle of the night thinking about it. Wake up thinking, upset. I'll show you the way to manifest your higher nature with this. The whole method is this: to illumine that inner darkness with light, with a light of love, using one of the laws of honor. You want to illumine that inner darkness. I'll show you how to do that. You let yourself see maybe the anger in that person's face and the hurt that you felt hearing what they're saying, playing it over in your mind. You let yourself feel it. And then you go, one of the laws of honor is I love you. It's not one of the commandments, it's one of the laws. And then you go, I love you. I love you. You're looking right into the darkness, the hurt, the pain, the humiliation. I love you. I wish you well. Now, I wish you well is one of the commandments of honor. I love you. I wish you well. I really do. I love you so much. I wish you well. And you're shining the light. You're putting some light. It's dark. It's heavy. I love you. You're sending that in. You stay with it for a while. You hold the image, you hold the feeling, and you're reaching across your pain, your anguish, your humiliation. I love you. You're reaching across that. You can do it if you're strong, or you have to be strong to do it, but it's doable. Now, what that'll do, it'll lighten whatever you're carrying with you. It will reduce it. It may go away, it may not right then, but it's going to ease it up. Because if you love that person, you don't want to have that moment destroy your love for the person. You don't want to allow that person sinking into their animal nature to destroy your love for that person, especially in a committed relationship. We're talking about committed, deep relationships. You don't want to, it's one thing to feel unloved by that person. That's a problem. I'm going to tell you a worse problem. It's for you to lose your love at that time for them. You're not feeling that love for that person is a bigger loss than feeling unloved. Don't let yourself be robbed of the love in your heart. I realize that person that you care about and you love, that you committed yourself to, it's just hurt you badly. But you don't want to be robbed of the love that is you. And that is being yourself. How to be yourself in that situation? It's to reach across that through love. Whether you say to that person right then or not, I'm not saying. I'm just saying you're reaching into it within yourself to illumine your own darkness, your own pain, your own hurt. Now, let's say it's not a committed love relationship. It's your supervisor. They humiliated you at work. You felt pain. You felt humiliated. You felt inferior. You felt discriminated against. You're going, I wish you well. So you're reaching across, I wish you well. Now, you may have to sue the company, that person. You may have to quit. You may have to file a complaint against the person, whatever. But in the meantime, you're just trying to illumine your own darkness that you feel from what your supervisor said to you. That supervisor was unfair to you, abused their power, and you feel powerless about it, but you're wishing them well because that is who you are. That's how to be yourself. That's your higher nature. That's who you are. You were created noble. You're manifesting your own nobility by applying one of the 4 commandments of honor. I wish you well. And again, as I said, you can file a complaint, lawsuit, whatever you have to do from there. So we don't let people walk on us, no, but we don't want to let people rob us of our peace, our harmony, or we want to minimize it. Some of it will get robbed at times, but we want to minimize that, try to reduce that, and certainly we want to be ourselves. In other words, it comes to this. You have the right to be who you really are in all situations, as long as the expression of yourself is done in a respectfully real manner. You have the right to be who you really are, as long as the expression of your true self is done in a respectfully real manner. Like, for example, you see somebody you have a resentment against, you say, you know what, I think you're stupid and ugly. I don't even want to see you again. I never did like you. Just get lost. Just being real, bro. Well, that's real. Being respectfully real might look like this. Hey, when you said what you did, I felt hurt. I would say I even felt humiliated. If you could find it in your heart to apologize, I'd be very grateful. That's being respectfully real. It creates a bridge or a connection. In that case, it involves showing your vulnerability, but that's not from the lower nature. That's an attempt to, when you're trying to create unity or a connection, that comes from the nobility that is you, the greatness that is you. You want to have a life of greatness. Now, whenever you might be going through another situation where you're upset, something you felt you're a victim, somebody said something to you and you felt like you were victimized. One of the commandments of honor is, I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. So at that time, you go, when the person hurt me, but you know, I co-created. I said this to that person, or I didn't do this. I added some fuel to the fire there. I co-created that. That'll empower you. That comes from your higher nature. Blaming comes from your lower nature. That's not being you. When I'm talking to you about how to be yourself, If you start blaming, that's not you. That's just your animal nature trying to just protect your ego, protect your pride. We all have it. That never goes away. That lower animal nature is always there. But so is the higher nature, the nobility, which manifests through honor. Now, when you go through suffering, these things that we're talking about, those the hurts and the humiliations, that's a form of suffering. But when you deal with it honorably, the end product is wisdom. I'm defining wisdom when you integrate your joys and your sorrows, your gains and your losses into a constructive perspective. That's wisdom. So I co-created this, or I'm really hurt, I'm suffering, but I know I'm going to get stronger from this. I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. That's one of the commandments of honor. So that adds a perspective where you're integrating whatever loss, hardship you're going through in a way that will give you wisdom. This is the loss, this is the pain, this is the suffering, but I'm going to be getting stronger from it. And I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. So that will lead to wisdom. This path, when you follow your higher nature, you will come back with more wisdom and more compassion. So the basics again: you have your lower nature, your higher nature, your animal nature, versus your divine nature, your honor nature. And when the title of today's talk is How to Be Yourself, you are really your divine nature, your higher nature. That's really you. You are your higher nature, your divine nature. But you have to make the choice to manifest that. All the negative thoughts, negative feelings that you have, the angers, the hurts, you didn't choose that. It's not your fault. That's based on your family upbringing, societal norms, and your genetics. You didn't choose that. To manifest, so that's automatic. All those pains and suffering is automatic. You didn't choose it. Then you choose to manifest who you really are. So this is the secret, how to be yourself. And as you manifest yourself, it's a beautiful thing. There's a price to be paid for it, because you're not going to be able to use certain rage or anger that maybe you normally use to defend yourself, but you'll find other ways to do that, to set boundaries. Well, this is very important information I've given you. I want to open it up for you. Yeah.
Do you think that there are certain professions where people cannot be their real self? I'm thinking of celebrities and lawyers and politicians.
The question is, are there certain professions that you can't be your real self? Well, the alternative to being your real self is to be your lower self. And whether you're a lawyer or entertainment, that's not going to work out. There's never, or politicians, it's never out of place to manifest your nobility. Now, if your intention is to create that unity and keep that connection, and you have to compromise on certain things, you have to do that, you're doing that. But your intention is to be able to create that unity and coming together. So it's still manifesting your noble nature. It's always appropriate to manifest your higher nature, always. It doesn't mean you have to put out your vulnerabilities and say everything on your mind. You don't always have to do that. You want to do more of that in more intimate relationships. But you can always manifest nobility within the context of whatever your profession is, whatever your job is, whatever your trade is. You can always do that. You can never go wrong manifesting your true nature. By that, but you don't have to be blurting out everything about yourself. You may not want people to know certain things.
What about the people that don't?
The people that don't, they might be disloyal, betraying, and of course, when you're following this path, doesn't mean we let them get away with it, because we don't want to enable their dishonor. It's bad for them, certainly bad for us to let them take advantage of us. So we take protection. We may have attorneys that we talk to. We may have to sue the person. We may have to say, this is not acceptable to me. This will be the consequence if this continues, whatever that is.
Have you never been lied to by a lawyer, a salesman, a politician?
So the question is that we have been lied to. We've all been lied to. And we can still deal nobly with that. We can deal with that from our higher nature. We can either confront it and say, I feel you're trying to deceive me, or we may not want to do that. I might say, well, I don't think this is going to work out. Think about whether you really want to be saying that to me, because it doesn't add up for me. I mean, please forgive me, but honestly, it doesn't add up for me. So let's find some way to come together on this. I mean, you want me to buy this, I have an interest in it, but it's got to be, let's put our cards on the table. And if the person's not going to do that, you say, well, let me just think about it, or, I'm not interested right now, walk away. You're going to be lied to, you're going to be betrayed, you're going to have people try to deceive you. You have to use caution and good common sense, or you bring somebody with you so that you can consult about what's being said to you here. Yeah, we don't let ourselves be taken. This path, manifesting your nobility and your divine nature, your honor nature, does not mean being taken advantage of or letting people dishonor themselves trying to get over on you. Not at all.
Do you think that people of honor get kind of a radar to phonies?
The question is, do people of honor have a radar for phonies? To the extent that you're walking this path, you'll notice. In fact, it might even amuse you. You notice a person's trying to just do something and they're being phony. You'll see it. And certainly being honorable helps you see it more clearly, because your eyes will be more open, you're more illumined. You can see more clearly what's going on, because you're not all trapped in your own machinations and an attempt to deceive. You're not trying to deceive. So you're not all caught up behind the screen here. You're seeing what's going out there. Yeah, you'll see more clearly. That's exactly a good point. You will see more clearly what's going on. Yeah. All very good questions, Hugh. Thank you. I'm going to open
Dr. Nerenberg?
Yes.
It's
Kathy. Hi, Kathy.
Since the pandemic and everything, sorry, I'm losing my voice. It's sometimes difficult to be yourself because I'm Asian. And when I speak up sometimes, I get nasty looks. Sometimes unwanted comments. And I just withdraw. And it's...
Do you walk away feeling humiliated or hurt by it?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So, okay, two things. One, that comes out of, that's their ignorance, and that's very dishonorable to do. I mean, you're a lovely, lovely human being, and apparently I see it, and I see many of us do, but some people are not. And then what you want to do is illumine that dark spot, and you say, I wish you well. I wish you well. Or you may have to say something to somebody, I wish you wouldn't talk to me that way. Please don't talk to me that way. I'm talking to you respectfully. I appreciate if you talk to me respectfully. You have those options. But if you just shut down, then you certainly you don't want to keep replaying. We keep replaying it, which you can't help doing. Then you go, I wish you well. I wish you well. So there's two parts. You want to deal with them honorably when it's happening. Like, hey, I'm talking to you respectfully. I appreciate if you talk to me respectfully. Let's try to get along here. Now, if you're not up to that conversation and you just shut down, then your job is not to be destroyed by it. And the way to do that is you've got to illumine that darkness with, I wish you well. I do. I really do wish you well. I wish you well. And by wishing them well, it doesn't mean you hope they win the lottery. It means that you hope they find honor in their lives and they repent from these really destructive, animalistic behaviors. It comes from their lower nature. They're just talking. That's not even who they are. That's coming from their lower nature, their animal nature, which happens a lot. And I would feel compassion for them. They're missing out. I mean, you are a very beautiful, I know you are. You're a very beautiful, beautiful human being. And they're missing out on the beauty. That's you. What a loss. Anybody who responds that way, what a loss to not see the true, beautiful Kathy. That's a big loss. And that's unfortunate for them. So that's their misfortune. So in addition to wishing them well, you feel a little compassion. They missed out on seeing the beauty that is me. That's not an egotistical thing. They just really missed out. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a very good, Kathy. Thank you. Yeah. So, when everyone shares these comments and questions like Kathy and Hugh, it really helps the other people. Because I really see that people benefit as much or more from hearing from each other than hearing from me. So people feel less alone with what you're going through. Who else would like to make a comment, ask a question, make a contribution to the group?
Hey, Dr. Nerenberg, it's Bert.
Hey, Bert. Good. I'm glad you made it. Good.
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of tackle one of Hugh's questions about showing up your true self to work. I know we kind of talked about this a little bit
today.
Yeah, I think it should be done carefully, right? So there's no job or industry that wants you to show up uninhibited. Right?
No, exactly. You don't have to be uninhibited to be your true self.
Yeah. It should be done in a formal professional version of yourself, not the full spectrum of yourself with, certain tendencies, whether obnoxious or bizarre. That should be for your friends and family.
You know what?
The
Bert,
small group of people that know you.
Bert, it's never inappropriate to be respectful. Never. So if you're dealing with respect, and one of the laws of honor is extreme respect always. We have the 4 commandments of honor, 25 laws of honor, one of them, extreme respect. It's whether you're in a professional group, at home, religious community, it's never inappropriate to be respectful. So you keep that respectful. You may feel you don't want to expose your vulnerability like you would with your best friend or your spouse, but it's never, ever, ever, ever inappropriate to be respectful. So at the workplace, you manifest your nobility, your true nature, and by expressing in a really respectful manner, even if you disagree. Sir, with all due respect, I hold you in high esteem, but I need to express this to you. That would be just for example. Or you feel
absolutely. Yeah, that's why I wanted just to contextualize it. When we say bring your true self to work, it's within context, right? So
it's always being with respect, and when you're at home too, bring the respect into the home. How we talk to our children, how we talk to our parents, to our significant other, with respect. That comes from the honor nature, the divine nature. But the difference is in the workplace, you may not want to expose your vulnerability. I felt hurt, I felt humiliated. You may not want to bring that over there. Whereas with your spouse, you might say, I felt hurt when you said that. I really did. I really need you to be more gentle with me. You may not want to say that to your supervisor. So in that sense, you're not bringing your full self in the workplace. But you still deal with it respectfully. Exactly. That's exactly true. Exactly.
Dr. Nerenberg.
Yes.
This is Van Brown.
Van.
I just, when I was going back, I don't remember them all the time, but I looked at my phone, and the 4 keys of honor, the third one, I will take full responsibility for co-creating my reality.
And my problems.
And my problems. And I think it fits with work and how you present yourself there.
Exactly.
One of the things I've been working hard on is serving, right? Kind of having some servant leadership, servant type of mindset. If I'm focused on that, then those things that are problems become less of a problem when I'm there and in service, and that's the mindset.
The servant leadership model. The servant leadership model will not make all our problems go away, but will certainly reduce that, because the thing that gets in the way at work or anywhere is our ego and pride, right in our way. And we say, I'm here to serve you, whatever I can do to help you, I want to do that. That's a very humble approach. So, and humility comes from a higher nature. The animal lower nature is not humble. It's very haughty and arrogant. If you find yourself as somebody being arrogant and haughty and acting superior, that's not them. That's their lower nature. The higher nature is the noble self. You know, they're really better than that, but that's all they could do right then, out of ignorance of their true identity. They're better than that. They just can't manifest it right then because of their own fragileness, their own vulnerability. They can't manifest. Yeah, they're better than what they're showing when they start getting arrogant. But that's a great leadership style to serve, the idea of serving the people. That's the best. Yeah, very good, Van. And I was really glad what you brought up about the workplace. I'm very glad what nurse practitioner Bert brought up about the workplace. Just right on.
Thank you.
Yeah, Hugh? Yeah.
Do you think there are people that don't have a divine nature, like murderers and gang members?
The question is, are there people who don't have a divine nature, like murderers and gang members? We're created with it, but it could be... But it could get to a point in some extreme cases where the person actually hates their divine nature, and they because the power isn't in their lower nature, evil, getting over on people, and so they become worshipers of the lower nature. That becomes their god. So when the light that comes from the higher nature, they've turned their back on that. There are some individuals who do that. Pretty rare. But they were created with that opportunity to manifest their true identity, their divine nature, their higher nature, their honor nature. They had that. Can they ever get there? Some people might be too far gone, but that's pretty rare. Most people, even the Iceman, one of the most notorious murderers from Murder Incorporated years ago, I saw him being interviewed in prison. He would just kill people different ways. He didn't feel anything about it. But he loved his wife and he loved his daughter, and he wept when he thought about the pain he caused them. So the higher nature was there, but for the most part, he compartmentalized it to do what he considered his job. He just pick up, he was called the Iceman because he'd pick up an ice pick or whatever and just hit somebody's brain and just kill him. He was a big guy. But he wept when he thought about his wife and daughter, so because he loved them. So even he still had that higher nature, but very compartmentalized. Good question. Well, it's been my pleasure to present to you how to be yourself. I'm grateful you're here. I'm grateful I had an opportunity to be in your presence and share this with you and hear your thoughts and kind of meld our beings during this period of time and come out stronger and more knowledgeable from it. Thank you so much.
The sea of destiny is in your deepest struggle. God's will and mine be one, and I wish you well. You are co-creator, respectfully real. There's a way in the valley that turns weakness to steel. We're known through all eternity. From strife we gain power, clothed in grace and love, disciples of honor. All the days of our lives, refuse the way of shame. We wish nobody harm, have no one to blame. Your high calling will be done, and pure eyes now glow. In darkness crave the good, like waters from the desert flow. I pledge my love all the days of my life. I pledge my soul to all that is good. I pledge my heart to my brothers and sisters, who I join in the light, leave a legacy of honor. We're known through all eternity, from strife we gain power, clothed in grace and love, disciples of honor. All the days of our lives, refuse the way of shame. We wish nobody harm, have no one to blame. Your high calling will be done, and pure eyes now glow. In darkness crave the good, like waters from the desert flow.